Okay, welcome to the deep dive. So, when we first started sifting through the material on Julius Malema, there was this one phrase that immediately, well, it just jumped out at me.
Right.
Kiss the boar, kiss the farmer.
Ah, yes.
Seems so simple, didn't it?
Yeah.
But in context, wow, it became an absolute flashpoint.
It really did. And the surprising part, maybe, was Malema's own clarification afterwards.
Exactly, his own direct clarification. It made me realize that understanding his communication style, how he both provokes and clarifies, that's really central to what we need to explore today.
Yeah, it's quite striking how a phrase like that, especially coming from him, can just ignite such a huge debate. And his clarification, saying it just meant kiss, kiss, well, it really highlights the kind of intense attention and the very polarized reactions he seems to consistently command. It feels like a calculated disruption almost.
Absolutely. Calculated disruption. That's
Yeah.
a good way to put it. And that ability to just, flabbergast people, to operate with such directness, that's exactly what we're digging into. Our mission today is really to unpack these moments that shocked the world, as the sources put it, to give you a glimpse into this unique, often explosive communication style of Julius Malema. He's, a hugely prominent figure in South African politics, often very controversial.
Definitely prominent.
We've pulled together various video excerpts, and our goal really is just to help you understand his political journey, his core beliefs, and how this very direct, often confrontational approach, how it profoundly impacts the political landscape and, public discussion in South Africa.
And it's important, like you said, that we're here to analyze the material, connect the dots, maybe pull out some surprising facts, but we're absolutely not endorsing or refuting any of the viewpoints in the sources.
No, definitely not. We need to maintain that neutral lens, just presenting what the sources actually reveal.
Okay, so starting point. Who is Julius Malema?
Good question.
Well, the basics are, he's a South African politician, a sitting member of parliament, and he's the leader, the commander-in-chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF.
Right, the party he founded in 2013.
Exactly. After that very significant split from the African National Congress, the ANC. And the sources consistently describe him as a Pan-Africanist. And they use this phrase that he tackles things in a way that leaves people flabbergasted with their mouths open.
That phrase really captures it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sets the stage perfectly for his outspoken persona.
It does. And it's not something new either.
No.
His political journey started much earlier, and you can see the foundations being laid then. He was formerly the president of the ANC Youth League.
Right, from 2008 until, was it 2012 when he was expelled?
That's the one. So that early life within the established party, the ANC, and then his expulsion.
Yeah.
It seems like that really solidified the confrontational approach he's now, almost synonymous with.
Yeah, I think you're right. That confrontational style is, arguably his most defining feature.
And we see a really powerful example of this in what some sources call the Revolutionary House incident.
Ah, yes. Tell us about that.
Okay, so here, he's basically instructing security to remove someone from a briefing, someone he feels is misbehaving. And he declares the space is not a newsroom, but a revolutionary house.
And the language he uses, it's incredibly charged.
Extremely. He tells the person, don't come here with that white tendency.
Wow.
And adds, if you've got a tendency of undermining blacks, even where you work, you are in the wrong place.
And then it escalates even further, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. He calls the person rubbish, a small boy, a bastard, and even a bloody agent.
It's not just about controlling a room there, is it? It feels like a performance, a masterclass in establishing dominance through, theatrical confrontation.
That's a good way to describe it. It forces opponents onto his terms, like it or not.
And in doing that, he often polarizes public opinion, sure, but he absolutely grabs the headlines and mobilizes his base.
Definitely grabs headlines. And what's also striking is that this kind of assertive, confrontational stance isn't just for, say, internal party things or press briefings.
No, he takes it right to the top.
Exactly. We see him openly inviting confrontation with the president's office. He makes this statement, something like, the level of democracy in South Africa is actually mind-boggling, right? As he's directly asking the president to effectively take action against him.
Yeah, it's not just a challenge. It feels like a deliberate signal. Like he's saying, I'm ready for a fight, bring it on. Puts the ball squarely in the president's court.
Precisely. And he brings that exact same unyielding energy right into Parliament. The parliamentary clashes are something else.
Oh, yeah. That's where you see his tactics really crystallize, isn't it? You could almost categorize them.
You can. First off, there's his direct challenge to procedural rules. He confronts the chairperson, flat out saying, you broke your own rules because they allowed someone to speak before ruling on a motion he'd raised. He insists you must rule on it before you give him.
So he's using the rules against the rule keepers, in a way.
Kind of weaponizing procedure itself, often, yeah, to highlight what he sees as hypocrisy or maybe an abuse of power.
Okay, so that's one category. What else?
Second, he frequently uses legal findings or court judgments to launch these really pointed attacks on political opponents.
Right, I remember seeing that.
Like when he describes another MP as an incorrigible man, rotten to the core, but then he adds that crucial bit, who was found by the Constitutional Court.
Ah, so it's not just name-calling. He's linking it to a legal finding.
Exactly. It's not just a political jab. It's a strategic use of the judiciary's authority. It positions him as, the defender of the rule of law against what he paints as corrupt politics. That's a powerful narrative, especially in South Africa.
Yeah, incredibly powerful. Okay, so challenging rules, using legal findings. What's the third strand?
Maybe the most crucial one? His unwavering insistence on the supremacy of the Constitution over just a simple parliamentary majority.
Right. The Nkandla report example comes to mind.
Spot on. He argues that even if a majority voted against the Constitutional Court's decision on Nkandla, the findings about public funds used for former President Zuma's private home, he says that vote doesn't make the majority right. Because, he stresses, those who voted against the court's ruling were actually in breach of the Constitution. They were repeating the same mistake.
So for him, the Constitution trumps parliamentary numbers.
Yeah.
Full stop.
That's the clear message. And he applies this consistently. He insists parliamentary rules must apply even when the president speaks. And he accuses the speaker of trying to suggest otherwise.
And this commitment to the Constitution, it's not just abstract talk, is it? It leads directly to him demanding accountability.
Absolutely, even from the highest office. He relentlessly asks the president, quoting the public protector's findings, when is he paying the money?
That persistence. And it leads to some deeply controversial moments, too, particularly around the Marikana massacre accusations.
Yes, that's probably one of the most explosive areas. He absolutely refuses to withdraw his statement that Cyril, referring to Cyril Ramaphosa, is a murderer, and Cyril participated in the conspiracy to kill the workers in Marikana.
He doesn't just say it, he doubles down.
Completely. He declares, Cyril has got blood of innocent. I will never apologize to Cyril. And even, quite chillingly, Cyril must rot in jail.
And then he dares them.
He does. You can take me to jail for that. It's an incredibly unyielding stance. It takes the accusations way beyond procedure, right into the deeply personal and potentially criminal.
It's such a high-stakes move, just completely shattering parliamentary decorum.
And it doesn't stop there. Later, we see him refusing to leave the house when he's ordered out. He actually dares the security, the bouncers you have hired, as he puts it, to come and kill us here in the same way you kill people in Marikana.
Wow. That's intense.
It is. And then he turns on the speaker directly, accuses her of being scared of Zuma, abused by Zuma, claims she was dumped after some presidential promise didn't materialize. He labels her irrational, impatient partisan.
It's just a barrage of accusations.
A complete barrage. And he concludes by asserting that the speaker is willing to chase out who are protecting the Constitution and keep a man who violate the Constitution.
It's just a remarkable display of defiance, isn't it? What comes through so strongly is his belief, his absolute conviction in the right of parliamentarians to speak here.
Yes, and he adds, it doesn't matter whether you are irritated by our inputs or not, you must listen to us.
He demands to be heard. He even criticizes the speaker later for calling the sergeant at arms without giving a first warning. He calls that unconstitutional and an abuse of power.
Yeah, he insists you must warn it first.
And despite all the instructions, all the pressure, he just keeps repeating that statement about Marikana, refuses to withdraw that the ANC government massacred people in Marikana, arguing the police represented the government.
It feels like a consistent, almost choreographed performance of resistance.
Yeah, choreographed is a good word for it. Okay, so moving beyond the parliamentary theatrics, Malema also offers these broader societal critiques, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And reveals some core beliefs.
He does. There's one discussion about apartheid that's quite interesting. He asserts that apartheid did not teach white people to hate black people.
Really? What's his reasoning?
He says he knew white people who didn't hate. But then, when he's pushed on whether apartheid taught white people to love, he kind of sidesteps, saying that wasn't his point, and it doesn't matter if people accept teachings or not.
That's quite a nuanced, maybe even provocative take on such a complex history. Challenges a common assumption.
It does, and then there's the courtroom incident he talks about.
Oh, right, the magistrate who was always late?
For 5 years, apparently. Consistently late, causing huge delays, showing disrespect. He's clearly outraged.
And he uses that phrase.
Justice delayed is justice denied. And he says, no one must disrespect us like that. What's interesting is he also notes that no journalist had apparently reported on this magistrate's ill discipline.
So he's highlighting a perceived lack of accountability, not just from the magistrate, but maybe from the media or other institutions too.
Seems like it. It raises that bigger question about how different institutions uphold public trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about Parliament.
Definitely. And this idea of systemic issues, particularly around justice and trust, that seems to feed into his broader philosophy.
Yeah, and it connects to another really key insight from the sources that quote about loyalty.
Yes. Remind us of that one.
He says, loyalty is not permanent. Loyalty must be serviced. If people are loyal to you and you don't retain that loyalty, they will get tired and walk away.
That sounds almost like a business principle applied to politics.
Doesn't it? It's not just a saying for him. It feels like a core operational principle. It suggests this political calculation where alliances are, well, fluid. They depend on continuous value back and forth.
And if you neglect that,
perceived neglect can lead to swift, decisive shifts in support. It keeps his own allies on their toes, maybe, and definitely challenges that idea of unwavering party loyalty we sometimes assume exists.
Okay, so putting all this together.
Yeah.
What's Malema's actual vision for South Africa? Where does he want to take the country?
Well, it seems firmly rooted in what he calls radical economic transformation.
That's the EFF's core message, right?
Absolutely. And he's sharply critical of past government decisions. For instance, he slams the focus on building stadiums for the 2010 World Cup.
Instead of
prioritizing essential infrastructure, schools, basic amenities, he even specifically mentions toilets for the people. It highlights his constant focus on economic inequality and how resources are distributed.
So it connects directly to his core argument for a fundamental shift in economic power, really challenging the status quo.
Yes. And his language reflects that revolutionary aim. You hear rallying cries like, I march forward to the victory of our people. And his declaration that the revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. It shows this profound belief in his party's ability to deliver transformative change.
He's not just talking about tweaking policies here.
No, it sounds much more like a complete societal overhaul he's aiming for.
And he doesn't just lay out the vision, does he? He calls on people to act.
Exactly. He issues this really impassioned call to action for ordinary citizens. He urges South Africans to stand up, be counted, be part of history, and crucially, deliver economic freedom in our lifetime.
It's a direct challenge to people, isn't it? To actively participate in making his vision happen. It almost sounds more like a movement than just a political party sometimes.
It really does. His rhetoric consistently aims to mobilize, to empower. He positions the ordinary person as the real agent of change. That's a powerful appeal, especially, you'd imagine, to those who feel marginalized or forgotten by the system.
So wrapping this up, what does this all really tell us about Julius Malema?
Well, these moments we've looked at, they vividly illustrate his approach. Highly confrontational, absolutely unyielding, intensely political.
And his actions, his words, they seem consistently rooted in this conviction he has, holding power accountable as he sees it and fighting for what he defines as economic freedom for South Africans.
Yes, stepping back, it's clear his style is deliberately designed. It's meant to provoke, to disrupt, to force these direct confrontations with established norms, established figures.
And not just random outbursts, then.
Doesn't seem like it. Feels much more like a strategic choice, intended to grab attention, demand action, often by pushing right up against and sometimes maybe over the boundaries of what's considered acceptable public discourse.
Okay, so let's leave our listeners with something to think about. Considering everything we've discussed, in this current era, with information overload, complex political landscapes, how do figures like Julius Malema, figures who intentionally disrupt conventional decorum, how do they actually reshape the very nature of political debate and public participation?
That's a big question.
It is. What really stands out to you about the effectiveness or maybe the challenges of such a style, especially thinking about the long-term impact it might have on a nation's political identity?